This is the Amy Edwards Show.
Another really interesting aspect of honesty is that we learn how to withstand and hold and stay in uncomfortable sensation and uncertainty, which gives you the muscle to stay in pleasurable sensation, which women especially struggle with, but all people do because we have a anhedonic culture. We have a puritanical, don't get too big for your britches. Don't say you're fabulous. Don't have 27 orgasms. Don't scream and moan like a wild banshee. Keep it, simmer down. Keep it contained. And it's like, I am uncontainable. I am unmanageable. And that is what makes me wonderful and exciting. And that's what makes all of us that way. And so I think really important part of honesty is that when you are truly honest, you know you're really loved.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Today, we have one of my very favorite guests of all time. Her name is Susan Bratton, and she is the trusted intimacy expert to millions. That is not an exaggeration. She's the author and founder behind Personal Life Media, and she's made it her life's mission to help people reclaim their vitality and sexual satisfaction, especially in long-term relationships, which she herself is in. She's been on the show twice before. The episode that we did on sexual biohacking was exceptionally popular, one of my most popular. I will put a link in the show notes because if you haven't listened to it, it is well worth your time. She's back today for a juicy deep dive into something we're calling hot monogamy. We're going to call it the 5 principles of lifelong hot monogamy. And we're going to talk a little bit about her sex life bucket list that she has created as well. Susan is a big believer that marriage doesn't mean the end of passion. She is here to prove it with not only her experience, but her signature blend of radical honesty, biohacked sex, spiritual connection, and of course, humor, because I still quote some things that she has said in other episodes. We just quoted it today, Justin and I, actually. You just make me laugh all the time. I just adore you, Susan. So if you're wondering how to turn up the heat in your relationship, this is the conversation that I'm ready to have for sure. And Susan, I just want to add, you are so respected in your industry, so admired. Women that I know, women in particular, that I know in the sexual wellness space just speak so incredibly highly of you. And I don't know, I'm sure you know that, but I just wanted to tell you too, because it's always nice to hear, right? And my friend Kimmy Inch, who is extremely well respected too, just thinks the world of you. And I that says so much about who you are. You're just a joy and a light. And I just really admire you. So thank you so much for doing this.
What a beautiful intro. Thank you so much, Aim. I really appreciate it. And I'm really excited. First of all, I love doing episodes with you because we vibe. The minute we met, we were just like, boom. And that makes it so nice for both of us because we're just, I was, waiting for the moment today to get to be with you.
Me too.
To be with you. And I'm really excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today, this notion of how sex in long-term relationships can keep getting hotter and hotter over time for the rest of your life. And I like to think about it as getting on the upward pleasure spiral. That's my words for it, because I think about it like a DNA helix, like 2 souls are wrapping toward consciousness, and they are separate but together in this helix. The helix is dimensional. It's a matrix. It has an updraft to the heavens, to source, to Gaia. It continues to always evolve, and it takes both partners to do it. And so I have this little graphic that is like 2 souls intertwined up. And when I think about hot monogamy, That's the image in my mind. It's not like a porn scene or lingerie, which are all, interesting, fun aspects of our sexuality. It's more like an uplifting. There's momentum toward more for me in that image. And recently, do you know Rano and Sierra from Eden World?
I don't.
They work with couples like myself and you and your husband.
Cool.
Husband,
I know. I'm still getting used to it.
I know. Who work together, who drive projects together. So they work with highly functioning kind of 21st century mom and pop shop couples, entrepreneurial oriented couples. And they did this online event called Rockstars of Relationship. And they interviewed a lot of my friends too, which was nice to see how many people I knew in their Rockstar collection. And they interviewed us and asked us all of the things about how could you be married for 34 years and you're doing better than ever? How do you manage to work together for 34 years, well, 20 of the 34 years, and not drive each other crazy? How did you end up having a better relationship now than in the past? How have you gotten through what have been the challenges in your relationship? Not if you had challenges, because we all have. We're human. Life is challenging. Relationships are challenging. The world is challenging. But what do you do when you hit stumbling blocks? What were the things that you learned through all of the personal growth work that you've done, the sexual education work that you've done, the therapy you've gone through, all of those things? What are the things that have really served you in your relationship? And after the interview, I went through the interview and I wrote down these 10 principles that Tim and I have used to have a marriage that goes on this upward pleasure spiral and stays there, even in times of struggle or like, oh, all right, we're going through some shit. Here we go. And sometimes it fixes fast, and sometimes it takes years of painful effort and growth to get through it together. But we have a commitment that we are lifelong partners. We've been together longer than we've been apart now.
Wow.
And when you hit that, you're each other's person, and nothing that they could do they could never do anything that couldn't be worked through, compromised, fixed, so that you can keep going forward. And then you and I decided to do this show, and I was like, well, guess what? 5 of the 10 directly relate to hot monogamy, and they're kind of our mindset orientation toward our sex life. And I thought that would be just such a nice conversation to have. What are those things that have helped us? What are those frames and coping mechanisms and strategies and processes that we've used that really help us have hot sex?
Do you feel like they were conscious things that you've really even sort of had listed in your mind? Oh, these are the things that we do. These are our principles. Or was it like you did the interview and you were like, oh, we do this? What do you?
One of them, as an example, number one, is having a growth mindset. It's like,
That's my number one in a partner.
it's number one.
People say sense of humor, whatever. I'm like, no. Growth mindset, number one.
Right.
So with you on that.
And
Yes.
that we already had that when we came into the relationship. So that was funny. My handyman was here doing some stuff for me around the house. He's so sweet. I love him so much. And he said, how did you get into this line of business?
Yeah.
Because he's like, are you in like fashion and things like that? Or like, and I'm like, no, I'm a sexpert. I teach hot sex. And he's like, okay, so that's all you do. You just teach hot sex. I'm like, yeah. And it's, you can never stop learning how to have hot sex. How'd you get into it? And I was like, well, I didn't have orgasms from intercourse for 12 years of having sex with my husband, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And we thought there was something wrong with me. And then we realized it's super easy to learn how to have hot sex. We just have to figure out how. And what we did was we went to workshops, we went to therapists, we read books, we did a lot of things. We learned skills, we got skills. And that's because we started with a growth mindset. We were like, we've got a problem, we can fix it. What do we need to learn? And it's funny because my favorite audiences to which I speak are people who are growth mindset people. I don't care if they're bodybuilders who know that if they learn things, they can get better, or they're entrepreneurs who know that if they learn things, that they could get better. If you don't have a growth mindset, you'll be bad in bed. Because if you think you already know what you're doing, you have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what the upper limits are. You're a fish in water who doesn't even know you're in this thing that's been this prescribed thing that the culture has dictated through film and porn and movies. And even our erotica it's just a certain little tiny piece of what our potential is. All of it's pretty low level once you get into advanced stages of co-creative ecstatic bliss, let's call it that.
Love that. I love that. You don't know what you don't know. And before we got married, I was just thinking about that. And I thought, you know what? I think we should hire an intimacy coach and just learn and expand before we get married and just see what else we could expand into. And we did. And you know what? I had a partner who wasn't offended by that. Instead, he immediately said, sure, let's do it. And we found someone and we worked with her. And it has been so liberating and interesting and fun and expansive. And I'm twice divorced, Susan. So this, for me, I had marriages where I wasn't with somebody with that growth mindset. And so that's how I knew, like, okay, I mean, I'm sure there's couples that are going to listen to this that maybe feel a little stuck without that growth mindset. I don't know if you want to just interject a trick to help someone, navigate if maybe they've got a rut partner or something like that.
Yeah, I would say anyone who does not have a growth mindset doesn't out of either not being aware of how beneficial it is or fear. And fear, probably both.
And yeah.
So the thing that I would do is I would just learn about what are the tenets of growth mindset, what are the benefits of it? How can you support a person who is your partner in becoming more growth mindset oriented? How can you notice when someone's not being growth mindset oriented and show them a mirror to the possibility of an alternative to growth mindset? How can you model growth mindset so that it becomes appealing to your partner? How can you create a platform for your partner that makes them feel like a winner instead of a loser? How can you do it?
That's good.
Such that
That's good.
Yeah, such that they're not doing anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very important too. Too often we're like, well, you don't have a growth mindset, and it's like, let's try another version of that, And that is definitely the kind of thing that you could talk to a therapist about because they're very good with those kinds of things. I'm much better with the how do we have really hot sex.
Yeah. So, yes. So let's get back to that then. We're working with our growth mindset now. So.
Yeah. So that was number one for me. And I think what would be helpful would be to kind of go through some of these. And I want to give you all 10. But I want to touch very lightly on the 5 that are non-sexual. So you can just see what kind of the holistic perspective of what are the tenets of my marriage. And I work with my husband. He and I run our companies together. He runs all the tech and infrastructure for the Susan Bratton brand. And he's really the back of the room and I'm the front of the house. And we work really well together because one of the things we do is we have complementary strengths. And I think the mutual respect of complementary strengths, which is our number 6, is a really important one where we're looking for ways to help each other win. And that's really what that is. This is your area of expertise. Explain it to me, teach it to me, and handle it. And I'll do this part. And we're very divide and conquer. And I think what we've learned over time is to really look at what we both individually do well and can contribute equally with what we're both weak at doing that the other person can support us. And sometimes both of us are weak at a thing and then we'll find a third person. I remember Marcus Buckingham is a friend of mine. He wrote a book called Strengths Finder. It's sold in Target and at bookstores. You want to buy the book because the book has a code in it. You take a quiz online and then it gives you your results and it tells you your top four strengths and what they are. And when you know what your strengths are, the notion is that you really play to them. And what it tells you, because Marcus worked for the Gallup organization, Gallup polls. And so they have a database that is representative of Americans generally across all of America. And when you find out what your top four strengths are, then you understand what you're really good at and what your partner is really good at. And it helps you in your career and it helps you in your general overall life. And that really helped us understand the opportunity to create relationship values, not career and strength values, skills and talents, but relationship values, which is our guiding principle number 5. And that is, it's partly goes into the sexuality piece, but it partly is your overall relationship. The notion is that due to how you were raised, a little bit of your genetics, a little bit of your culture, a little bit of your gender, which is part of how your culture treats you, all of these things, your past experiences and all of that stuff, you have some specific things that you want out of a relationship. And so does your partner. And they're very different, especially if you're in a male-female pair bonded relationship, because men walk around safe in the world and females don't. We have different arousal patterns. We have different perspectives on desire, all of these kinds of things. And we learned our relationship values very early on. It was one of the things that when we went through a really rocky period, we realized that he was treating me the way he wanted to be treated, and I was treating him the way I wanted to be treated, instead of treating our partners the way they want to be treated. And I wrote a little workbook called My Relationship Magic. And you can buy it on Amazon, but don't. But just get the download at myrelationshipmagic.com and figure out your relationship values, whether you're single or you're in a relationship. It really helps you get clear on what it is you want most from being in a relationship with a person. And it speaks to your core values. They're pretty fixed. They're pretty mutable throughout your life. You kind of have those, and it's a lot of it's based on what your childhood was like. For example, it's basically leveraging something called NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, values elicitation. And values elicitation, you rank order the things you value most. And I did this on television a lot. You know, I've written and published 44 books and programs, 34 of my own, 10 of the work of, I carry the lineage on of some of my mentors. I had some very good mentors. And so for a decade, I was on every television show talking about relationship values. And the way that they would tease it on TV is they'd say, is the golden rule ruining your relationship or mucking up your marriage? Stay tuned for Susan Bratton, intimacy expert, after this commercial break. And I'd come on and they'd be like, so why is the golden rule ruining your relationship? You know, it's like, well, the golden rule is do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. The problem is you can't treat your partner the way you want to be treated. Use the platinum rule instead, which is treat your partner the way they want to be treated, have them treat you the way you want to be treated. And here's how to find out. Go to this, relationship magic workbook, print it out, and do this little thing. And this little exercise is really fun to do because you think you know your partner and then they think they know themselves. But then when you go through this and you're like, oh, that's why you do that thing. It's very interesting. So, for example, my number one relationship value is security because I grew up in a very unstable situation and I didn't feel safe. And so when I realized security was my number one, I started to tell my husband, explain to him how he can make me feel safe. His number one was passion. He can take care of himself. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He's totally good. He's not worried about shit. But he wants to see me naked. He wants to have hot sex. He wants me to sit on his lap. He wants to take showers together. He wants to hold each other. He wants me to grab his butt or his package. He constantly wants to have his hands on my boobs all the time. They're like
Sounds familiar.
hand magnets. These are not breasts on my chest. These are man hand magnets. They just love to squish them. And I'm getting a booty for the first time in my life at 64. Last night I said to my husband, I want you to grab my ass a lot more. I've got this booty and it's feeling really good to get squeezed. I had a flat ass my whole life. And now from my late stage, muscle building thing I'm doing for my longevity, baby got back.
I love it. I love it. That's so encouraging, right? Like,
It needs to be squeezing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I've given him permission to do the things he likes. I've encouraged him to do more. And when I realized that he just liked touching me and holding me, and it wasn't always trying to get sex, which is what I thought in the early parts of our marriage, then I began to spend more time making sure he got what he needed. He likes his head petted. He likes his arm massaged. He likes to massage me. He likes to get his hands on me. He's very kinesthetic because he lives in spreadsheets and numbers and analytics and AI and things like that all the time. So we have our unique things, and one of them matches in our top 4 relationship values. And that brings me to a third tenet of our relationship, which is one of the things that really helped our early marriage. It is number 2 after practice a growth mindset. It is own radical honesty. Be honest in all things at all times, no matter how bad it makes you look. Tell the truth to each other. Learn how to unwind the cultural programming that taught you how to walk on eggshells, stuff your feelings, withhold, omit. All the stuff that we do for little white lies, coping mechanisms, because for some reason we are not taught just to tell the truth. And I have gotten to the point where I don't even have any friends anymore that I have to put a filter on around. I hate to filter myself. I just want to be balls to the wall Bratton. And I
can't imagine you any other way. Why would we want that? No.
How can you know if you're truly loved if you aren't truly yourself?
Yeah.
But it takes a lot to unwind that cultural.
I still can catch myself wanting to manage a situation with something that's not totally true. And and I'm trained myself now because I'm so in it, but it is deep.
Yeah. Oh, it's all the way to the bone. It's to the bone. It's actually generational. It's lying is a generational trauma we carry forward.
Wow.
Right? So we got to break the chains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So radical honesty is the second tenet of our relationship. And that includes in the bedroom. And it empowers you to say, you have a hair sticking out of the bottom of your dick, and I cannot give you a blowjob till you go into the bathroom and you flick that hair off so it's not rubbing my lip every time I go, or it hurts when you do that right there, or I don't like it, or I can't get out of my head, or can you do this, or tell me these things, or can we try this toy, or whatever. I don't have to filter anything about my sex life. My husband and we did a lot of David data work early on. And one of the things about David is that he teaches people men are the riverbanks and women are the river. And I really like that analogy because it's like the wild feminine. Once you let her rage and roar and thunder and carry and move and just flop around and be herself, and you're just there like, baby, I love you no matter what the fuck you do. Everything you do is perfect to me. I'm just here to hang on for the ride, and you be you, and I got you, girl. You ain't going anywhere. I got you, girl. When you have that kind of dynamic, when that man is just able to hold space for everything, then you can rage, and then you can have incredibly hot sex, and then you can be sweet as a kitten, and you can be everything you are and be fully loved for that as well. So I think that's another really interesting aspect of honesty, is that you learn how to live in this, you learn how to withstand and hold and stay in uncomfortable sensation and uncertainty, which gives you the muscle to stay in pleasurable sensation, which women especially struggle with, but all people do, because we have a anhedonic culture. We have a puritanical, don't get too big for your britches. Don't say you're fabulous. Don't have 27 orgasms. Don't scream and moan like a wild banshee. Keep it, simmer down. Keep it contained. And it's like, I am uncontainable. I am unmanageable. And that is what makes me wonderful and exciting. And that's what makes all of us that way. And so I think that's a really important part of honesty, is that when you are truly honest, you're really loved.
That's beautiful. That's so well said. And and it is so foundational for us in a relationship. I mean, he's in active recovery too, and that's such a core tenet in AA. And so that's been it's been just something I've had to learn too. But like you said, I'm undoing so much in there. And what you said about that muscle that we learn to hold pleasure, that is fascinating to me, because and it's also comforting to hear you say that, because I wonder about myself sometimes. Oh, am I not normal? Because, I can't, I don't want to use the word can't. I'm sorry. I just have challenges sometimes holding that much pleasure. And so
It's a
it's
practice.
definitely good to hear that those have a correlation.
It's a practice.
It's a practice. Everything is. I mean, what
And
is?
one of the practices that you guys might enjoy starting now, first early in your marriage, is the expanded orgasm practice. It
Yeah.
is a conjoined trance state of ecstatic bliss, where he learns to lock on to your limbic system and take you on an incredible orgasmic journey with the lightest of strokes on your clitoris. It allows you guys to settle into each other. It teaches you how to rest and relax and to feel sensation, and how he can deliver sensation, and you ride that together. And it teaches your body to feel pleasure at the lightest of touch that you can stay in, and you can come for an hour with this simple stroking practice. It really helps you become massively multi-orgasmic with intercourse as well. Because intercourse orgasms, it's funny. So I'm at my beach house in San Diego right now, and it's just this little old 80-year-old beach house right on the beach down in Encinitas, California. And our daughter has a little studio house underneath the main home, and she's in Australia right now getting her PhD, so she's rented it out to this really sweet guy that's her friend John. He had his girlfriend over the other night, and I heard them having sex. I was just sitting in my bed, and I heard them having sex, and I heard her come. And I knew exactly what kind of orgasm she had and exactly where he was touching her by the sounds that she made.
Wow. I bet you did. Yeah.
Yes, that's my area of expertise is or
Yeah,
like intensity, orgasmic pleasure, orgasmic cross training, etc. And he was giving her really nice, little clitoral strokes. He wasn't driving her too hard. It was very high and throaty, and kind of like breathy, and it was really, really sweet. And I could tell it felt really good to her. And I thought to myself, that's a good place to start. She's doing well. And if she had been having orgasms from intercourse, they would have sounded totally different. The kind of orgasms that you have ultimately from intercourse are ones where this expanded orgasm practice, when you're having this particular stroke done to your clitoris, you learn how to get into that moment of sensation and stay there and pull time like time is taffy. So instead of having this peak and then crashing and then trying to connect them as multiple orgasms, what you're doing is you're getting into an orgasm and you're staying there. And you can transfer that. This is what orgasmic cross training is. It's transferring one orgasmic skill to another to activate a new kind of orgasm. And the expanded orgasms will actually activate the vaginal orgasms so that you come the whole time he's in you. And you're basically coming the whole time, and it sounds very different. And it is a different body sensation. But one of them helps you learn how to have the other one, which is you're coming the whole time you're having intercourse. Very interesting.
So interesting.
Yeah. So I'll send you that. It's called Expand Her Orgasm
I
Time.
remember it.
Did I
We
send
talked
that to
about
you?
this.
Did we?
I think so, but I'm not sure I did the whole thing, so I need to look back into it.
Yeah, it's basically just this little series of videos where it shows the clitoral stroking practice, and Dr. Patty guides you through exactly what you're seeing. So you can watch it together, just crack open your laptop or put it on your phone and watch it together in bed. And then there's a book that kind of explains what you're going for in the written word. And then there's 21 erotic play dates that give you different skill sets for the practice. So you can do one of those play dates each time you have sex. You can start with a little exercise. And you don't have to do it each time you have sex. It can take years for you to do it. But it builds different muscles for having better general sex by learning how to have this practice. Is quite interesting.
And that's such a good that's such a good thing to have together as a long-term thing. So you have things to look forward to, right? That's hot in itself. You're creating something that you guys can go, oh, like we're only on number 5, So
Yes. And that brings me to one of the other tenets, which is balancing trust and safety with novelty and variety. So Dossie Eaton taught me this. She wrote The Ethical Slut. I always like when I can to tell you where I got things because
I love it. No, I love it. I've been jotting it down.
I want people to know I stand on the shoulders of giants, and I've taken my mentorships and the things that people have taught me very seriously and integrated them into and stacked on top of them to forward our knowledge. So I pull from science, everything, neuroscience, everything to help people get a more multifaceted approach to how they have hot sex. And the balancing of trust and safety, Dossie said, hot sex is a simple equation. It's trust and safety plus novelty and variety equals desire. So you have these ways that you're having sex now. Those are your trust and safety ways. But you've got to have novelty and variety. That would be like adding an expanded orgasm practice, getting your sex life bucket list, which you mentioned at the beginning of the show. One of the things I did was I put together 48 erotic play dates that allow you and your partner to go through them one by one by one. This is free, sexlifebucketlist.com. It's free. And you just get a PDF and a video from me. And you guys fill out the PDF and you mark each of the play dates that I walk you through, an A, a B, or a C. A is, oh, this is definitely going on my bucket list. B is, it wouldn't be on my bucket list, but if you want to try it, babe, I'm down. Sure, totally up for it. And C is, it's not for me right now. Let's put that one on the back burner. Maybe we'll get to it, but these are my priorities. Now you've got your A list. So some days you're just gonna make love the way you're making love right now. You have a groove, you're in the groove, it feels good, it's easy. Other days you're like, oh, we have care and nurturing of our relationship. We're gonna try some new stuff. Maybe it's the expanded orgasm practice, maybe it's one of our bucket list things. And so then you've got your novelty and variety. So you're always in that beginner's mindset, learning new things together.
So important, so crucial. And I want to say too, I've done a lot of different worksheets from guests
I
and
bet you have.
other people. And this one's the most thorough. So I would encourage people to at least look at it. The link's going to be in the show notes. So yeah,
Thank you.
at least go check it out. What's still on your bucket list sexually?
Well, it's funny because what I've been doing a lot recently is I try a lot of sex toys. And one of the sex toys that I'm in love with right now is this. I can have one sent to you if you want it. Let me know.
The answer is going to be yes.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
There's always yes.
Super. Okay, good. Because that's that's how I am too. So in this one, this is a little, now you're going to have to watch the YouTube to see this.
Okay.
Your YouTube.
Right.
It's at drivedesire.com, so you can find it. And it's called the Luxus, and it's a couples intercourse sex toy. And you know how in like sports, they have, a grading system, but then they have something called beyond category. Like if you do bike racing and things like this, it's called beyond category. It's like,
No, I don't even know that.
it's like the next, it's like more than anybody ever thought of. It's like the better than anybody could have imagined. It's called beyond category. This is the beyond category sex toy invention. You can attach this to yourself two ways. When I'm having intercourse, I like to put it into this little silicone strapped harness. You barely see it. It's totally safe and secure. It stays on. It works great. And then you have intercourse hands-free, and you get this vibrator to give you a little clitoral zhuzh while you're getting penetrated. Also, another great way to become orgasmic from intercourse is to start by giving yourself this stimulation externally as you're being penetrated, so you can start to feel what it feels like to stay in the sensation of penetration. Your partner puts this little penis ring on the base of the shaft of his penis, and all it has in it is a magnet. It doesn't do any function for him other than, as he's going in and out of you, it's increasing the vibration of this little device that's on your clitoral structure.
Wow.
And it's above your clit, and it pokes down right on, it kind of like drops down onto your clitoris. So your whole opening to your vagina is open so the penis can go in and out. And as he gets closer and pulls away, it goes.
Wow.
Like this. And what's really interesting is that the expanded orgasm practice uses something called peaking, which toggles the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system to make your body reach for more pleasure. And this toy does exactly the same thing. It makes your body go like that, and that makes you come harder, longer, and more intensely.
Wow.
And now I feel like I need to say, but wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. Because you can also use this, and you might prefer this for your intercourse as well. It comes with this cute little pad, and this little pad will stick on here, and you get a couple of these. You have to buy the harness separately. I would highly recommend buying the harness. Not much. It's just they sell them in separate boxes. This is a little silicone sticker that goes on here, and it sticks to your mons, and you can pull it on and off repeatedly. It's got this like sticky silicone that will stick on your mons, so you don't even have to use the straps. But this is what I do. I put this in as a panty vibrator, and then I have my husband take me out to dinner and give me orgasms because it is app driven. So he could app drive it remotely from wherever you are. Like you could be going out to a movie and he could be staying home to work because he doesn't like Prince or whatever. And he could be giving you orgasms in the movie theater. So I love the fun joy of this kind of playful experience. So this is a really, really fun toy. So a lot of what I do, I lost my little plastic thing now.
What's it called?
It's called Luxus, Luxus, and it's at drivedesire.com. That's how you can find it.
I'm going to have everything on the show notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Drive Desire.
So this is what we've been trying recently, which is a lot of fun. But recently I was working on my cowgirl so I could have orgasms the entire time I was having intercourse. I have been trying some new sex toys. I've been quantifying my orgasm. I've been perfecting my yoni massage. What else have I been doing? I mean, like, I'm always doing new things. I'm always doing new things.
You are. I mean, it's just encouraging. The sky's the limit. Like, why should we get bored? Like, why should we have any monotony and monogamy? Because, one of the things you say in that bucket list, too, is you talk about your personal pleasure practice. And, mine's definitely fallen off when I've been in a relationship. Like, it was so solid when we first got together, and before that, I was doing so much self-work, and now I feel like I've gotten a little lazy about it.
Hey, I've got something new for you. This is what I've been currently liking to do. A lot of times, one of our, like, you know how I was like trust and safety versus novelty and variety?
Yeah.
My trust and safety go-to situation in my sex life with Tim when we just want to do what we really do really well is he'll give me a yoni massage, and then sometimes I'll go down with him or we'll do 69, and then we'll have intercourse. And I've been loving cowgirl. Like, I recently said to him, "Are you getting sick of having me on top screaming bloody murder in your ear?" And he's like,
I don't get sick. They don't get sick of
I
that.
could never get sick of that. And I was like, "Okay, let me know, because I'm just like so into riding you right now." And he's like, "No, that's fine." But sometimes after he ejaculates, I still have some orgasms left in me.
Mhm.
And so one of the things that I've been doing is I've been masturbating like crazy lately. And I'm not always a big masturbator either, but oh my God, I'm like, "Okay, good night, babe." Because we sleep in separate rooms because he's a big ass snorer. And
Mhm.
we both are like so protective of our sleep. We both sleep better separately, but we always go to bed together. And then he gets the big elbow on the first, it's like, "Night, babe." So
Yeah.
I wish we could sleep together all night long, but we can't. And I'd rather our sleep is more important to us than that. So
For sure.
well, sometimes a lot now when he leaves, I'm like, I gotta masturbate with these two things. They aren't getting me off so well. And this is what a greedy orgasm pig I am. And that is that I love using these together. These are also at Drive Desire. This is called Pearl and this is called the Wand. And
Okay.
they look like anything. These look like something you could buy on Amazon for $20. Like, they don't look like anything unique. They are
Yeah, they don't.
no.
They don't.
They look like
Mm-mm.
they look like 1,000 different companies make this thing.
Yeah, it's just really a basic, plain, oblong shape for anyone who's just listening. Yeah.
They are your basic thing, but their technology is incredible. And what I love about it is I put this inside my vaginal canal, and it has these it vibrates, but it also has these 3 extra G-spot stimulation vibrators. It
Nice.
helps activate the vaginal cavern and bring a lot of blood flow and engorgement into it. And it gives your musculature something to clamp down on, because orgasmic contractions intensify and feel really good with some resistance in there. It'll help you become a better intercourse orgasmer when you do that too. And this one, I use them together. I take this one, and the way that it works is it can fit in your vagina. That's one of its hallmarks. But what I like about it is that the particular sonic vibrations of this, they don't stimulate the surface of the skin like a buzzy type of a thing. They have this penetrating technology that stimulates engorgement of the deep erectile tissue of the vulvovaginal system, such that you're getting much fuller engorgement. You're getting a big lady boner. And when you do that, you have more surface area sending more signals to the brain to process the pleasure. So the pleasure is intensified. That's how it works. You got to have the yoni tells the brain it's feeling good. The brain actually tells the yoni it's feeling good. I said that backward. The combination of using this kind of a dual clitoral, G-spot, vaginal, labial, vibrating combination is so nice. And what I'll have Tim do is I'll lean back against him. He'll reach around and pleasure my breasts and stimulate my nipples, because your mouth, your breasts, and your vulva are a locked system. And when you stimulate any one of them, it stimulates the other ones. And stimulating your breasts makes you come harder. Kissing makes you come harder. And so he'll play with my breasts while
Is that the same for men too? Or like lips and
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It is. We have the same parts. It's just that men have been acculturated to think that nipples are just a women's thing or something. It's weird. But no, lots of men really get off. Some men can't even have an ejaculatory orgasm without nipple stimulation, or they need the kissing to get an erection. So it's very, very common. And I'll give myself, like, by the time we've done all that stuff, I'm so engorged and so turned on that I will have one of those like, and it'll just keep going. I can only go, I'll just be like completely sad. But it gets that last one out of the depths of my soul, you know?
Perfect. I mean, you've got to.
And this man does not want to play with breasts and listen to his woman having massive orgasm. And does he care if that gave me like a more intense orgasm than any other? No, he doesn't care. He's just happy I'm having them all. He's just happy.
That's good.
Mommy keeps
I think
coming back to the
a lot of
well.
people can, I think people can worry about that, I've definitely done that, like, just like you described, and afterward he'll like do something for me and I'm, in it and having an orgasm and all that. And I think, oh gosh, is this like offensive? But it's not. And I think that maybe women can get up in our heads about that. And we have to allow ourselves just the experience, but we'll resist. Anyway.
Don't resist.
Don't resist.
Resistance is futile. We want you going to orgasm now. You want to have hot sex. You want to be fully self-expressed. You want to be ruthlessly, sexually self-expressed and completely accepted by your partner. You want to fuel your creativity and passion with orgasm. You want to be deeply and massively connected to yourself and your partner. You want your sex life to keep getting better your whole life long. You want to walk around like a god and a goddess of sex and love and have everybody who knows you be like, I want what they have.
Mm-hmm. We need to put a musical track under that so we can just like vibe to it. Yes. I was like closing my eyes, just feeling that, yeah, fuck yes, that's what I want. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's true. It's true. And we'll just hold ourselves back. And it's just this bullshit conditioning. We're here to, that's why we're sitting here.
Live your life, people. Live your life. It is your life. It is nobody else's life. And most of the time you got to be breaking the grip of someone else's agenda they have on you. Which brings me to number 3. Great. I'm doing the
Perfect segue.
popcorn style, which is act as a nurturer for each other. Remember how when I started this podcast and I told you that Tim is the wind beneath my wings? He's the back of the house that supports the front of the house.
Yeah.
Well, he has supported my healing journey, and I have supported his healing journey. And he's been an incredible nurturer and healed me through so many traumas. I remember I told you my childhood was very sketchy and had a lot of sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, fear, worry, loneliness, abandonment, all kinds of stuff. And I remember when he started doing G-spot awakening on me and de-armoring my G-spot and really softening me and opening me. And I would scream like a banshee or a witch. I would cackle I would crow like a rooster or cackle like a hen. I would make a sound that sounded like a train was going through the station in our bedroom. Like I roared, I cried, I wept, I screamed. And he was the river banks that held my releases. And over time, we moved through all of that and everything was awakened and enlivened. And I began to practice female ejaculation. I began to release my divine nectar. I began to let it all out. I began to take up space. I began to, quote unquote, make a mess. I began to let all of that go. And now I love my female ejaculatory experiences with him because there's no more trauma. There's only pleasure and basically just like confidence building. When you learn how to ejaculate, and all women can, men ejaculate out of their penis and they pee out of their penis. We pee and ejaculate out of the end of our urethral canal, same parts. And there's a little muscle up there that's like a valve that just holds the pee in. Because after you ejaculate, you'll go and pee like a racehorse too. It's not pee. And that releasing, really what happens is that I feel like the amrita or amrita that comes out of us as our feminine waters. My visualization is that it seeps into the ground and it waters the taproot that comes from our shushumna, from our base, down into Mother Earth and grounds us and connects us like mycelium to all of life, to all that is, to consciousness. So you can get to consciousness through the ecstatic bliss, that almost transcendental connection into source. And you can also get to connection to source through the taproot from the bottom down into the earth. There are many paths to whatever you want to call it: God, nature, Gaia, source, consciousness, all of life. It has many words. And it doesn't mean that it negates anything about your personal faith. These are adjunct relationships. Humans have these capacities. And so I think the nurturing and healing of deep-seated wounds can really be dissolved in our sexual healing of each other, and all of our wounds can be dissolved in the maturation of our marital relationships.
Yeah. And there's so much in both of those, the one about mutual respect and acting complementary toward each other, and this nurturing one is about, viewing yourselves really as a team and not viewing it as any kind of competition. And I think I've made that mistake in relationships in the past. And now it was in my vows. We are a team. We always say that we are a team. And when you really shift into that mindset, it not only puts you on equal footing, but it just changes something in the way that you're able to operate with each other. Operate,
Yeah.
or
Relate.
right? Relate,
Mhm.
yes.
Relational dynamics.
Yeah.
Our hashtag is Team Sweetie.
Team Sweetie. Hell yeah. Hashtags Team Sweetie.
Isn't that cute? We had that when I
Yes.
first got married. We put it in the cement when we poured the cement for our hot tub. We put Team Sweetie in there. It was before hashtags even were invented. There was no hash sign for it. It was just Team Sweetie. But we have always, that has been our thing, Team Sweetie. We're in it together. It's our backs against all odds together. We've got each other back to back.
Mhm.
We face the world.
Mhm.
I think that's
it's incredibly beautiful, and all of this sexual stuff really falls in line there, right? When you're viewing it as a team, right? You're safe, and you're going to be accepted even when you get all whatever, right? Even when you're crowing like a rooster or something. It's okay. It's all okay. Right. 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 It's an unconditional, right? It's like, it's this unconditional love. It's, it doesn't mean things are perfect. It just means it's love in a pure form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a couple more.
Great. That one was sexual, right? Because
I don't remember.
I don't-
One is scheduling and prioritizing intimacy. We
Oh,
are
yeah.
workaholics. We love to work. We've got hungry little brains that constantly are like, feed me, input more. And we would just work all the time if we let those brains run our bullshit. And so we got to turn them off. We got to be like, no, I'm taking your brain out of my head. I'm setting it down over here. Shut the hell up. I'm going to get some pleasure now. And the way that we do it is we put it on each other's calendars. Okay, do you want to have sex today? I do. I would like to have sex today. What time is good for you? Well, I have something at 7. So could we start at 4? Because I'm old.
Yeah. Yeah, no, really. I'm old too, and I'm married to someone 15 years younger, and we're navigating that, because I'm like, when I go to bed, I'm like, 10 p.m. is just too late. It's not.
Same season.
That's not my jam. Like, I want to just put my night guard in and my sleep shades. I'm out. So yeah, I think that's so important. And actually, it was very inspiring to me. I was reading one of your newsletters about erotic play dates, and the scheduling and prioritizing is so crucial to me. And I thought about my birthday, which is, well, we're recording this a little earlier than when it comes out, but my birthday's next week. And I was like, oh, I know. I want to schedule dinner with the kids really early. And then we're going to go home. And here's what I want. I want you to pick out an outfit and one sex toy. And then we're going to play with that. And we're going to have it scheduled and ready to go. Like, and start at 7.
What
right?
sex toy are you going to use?
I don't know. I left it up to him. I told him to find a new one.
Oh, you should tell him about the one that I showed you.
I just might.
Yeah,
I think I would.
Good one. That would be really good.
So, but it's just that funness of it. Well, he actually said only one, and I was like, yes, just what? Let's just play with one right now. But
only one.
He wants to buy like all of them.
Good.
So
yeah, I love that.
But it's very inspiring about like scheduling it and really making it a priority. That's so crucial, and I think there's something that we view as unsexy about that. So we're inclined to just be like, ooh, we have to schedule sex, but it's better that way. It just is going to suit everybody. My mind's not going to be in 10 other places like it can be so often if we're doing it in the morning or whatever. Like morning's great. Sometimes I have too much on my mind and I haven't written it down.
Oh, I got to get shit done in the morning.
I got to get shit done.
Totally.
I do.
And you know what you said that was so interesting was you said, schedule it and let him pick out the pleasure tool that you're going to try. And what I heard you say was, I am not scheduling sex. I'm scheduling an erotic play date.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. That goes back to that tenet that it is, novelty and variety are needed. And I think that is very, very important. So when I say schedule and prioritize intimacy, I'm saying it not put a date for sex. I'm saying it predicated on 2 things. One is think about something new, be very in the moment, like feel comfortable that when you land on the bed, you might have some vague ideas. You might make each other some offers. What do you think we should do? What do you think we should do? You know what I really feel like? I was fantasizing about this all day. Could we do this? I mean, I think that once you realize that sex is not this prescribed thing. It's not, okay, we're going to do this thing, then this thing, then this thing. We're going to have intercourse, then we're going to be done, and that's it. That's the recipe for disaster. That's the monotony of monogamy. And when I say scheduled sex, I don't mean schedule more monotonous intercourse. I was like, yes, and who's going to do that? Because when sexperts get on to things and they're like, just schedule sex. And every woman in the world's gone, I don't even like sex. It's so boring. I have to perform all the time. It's like, that's not the sex I'm talking about. I'm talking about the capricious sex of kismet, of your desire in the moment, where you are in your cycle and how your stress levels are and everything that's going on in the world. And what do you need? What do you both need? And a lot of times we'll start out and I'll say, give me some ideas of what we could do. And he'll come. He's a font of ideas.
Oh, I love that.
And sometimes he'll be like, is there anything you want to do? And I'll say yes or no. Sometimes I'll say yes, I would like to try this toy out. Sometimes it'll be like, no, I would like you to give me 5 ideas. And he'll give me 5 ideas and I'll go, no, I think I don't want to do this. He doesn't care. He just wants to be close and have sexy fun. Like it's all good for him. So it definitely is much more. We asked my lion, we asked my kitty cat, where are you? Who's in there? Who wants to come out and play? What do they want to do?
Yeah. I think calibrating too, if people can calibrate to, I just want to have sexy fun and be close. Like that is so simple and it releases you from taking anything personally. If somebody wants to do, like say you don't want intercourse that day, like they don't have to have their feelings hurt. Like, oh, okay, this is our sexy time of this today and like how fun. And if we can keep that like really basic desire in our foremind, then I think that we're able to probably enjoy it more.
Well, you got to number 10.
I did.
Perfectly. Like,
thank you. Are we at 10, by the way? Have we covered 9? Have we covered 9?
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, we have got one more. 9 is a little weird one for most people.
Okay.
So 10 is take personal responsibility for your experience, which is literally what you just said.
Yeah.
It is important to understand that sometimes you're not going to want to go all the way, whatever that is. This is the best you can do. And now this is one of the reasons why yoni massage is my top 10 sex trend. It's number one of my 10 sex trends of the year. Is because, well, partly it's because all of a sudden all the men in my universe, which is vast because I have a giant following of men because they love that I tell it to them straight and teach them how to be
hot. And you're amazing and funny and cool. I mean, like,
the hot.
of course.
The hot comes from the orgasms. I think anybody who comes as well as I do is just gonna be hot. Like this is what
Just
it
gonna be
gives.
fire.
Yes, it does. It lights you up. But when you start making love, if you just can't get there, it's okay. Sometimes it's just like, baby, I don't want to keep going. I'm done. I just can't get into it. I can't get out of my head. I just need to go to bed or whatever. Will you just tuck me in? And I liked him to pull the covers. I like sleep on my side when I start with a pillow between my legs, pillow on my side. And I like him to pull the covers all the way up and tuck my shoulder all the way in. Even if 5 minutes later, I'm like, I'm hot. I love when my man tucks me in. That's some of that healing daddy energy that I didn't get enough of.
Hell yeah.
I love from him.
That's so Team Sweetie, too.
So Team Sweetie.
It just is. It's so Team Sweetie.
So maintaining
yeah, and trusting
responsibility.
that your partner's going to take their own responsibility too, because I think that I take on more responsibility for him than I should a lot of times. You know, I'll worry about, is he happy? Is he fulfilled? You know, all these things that take me out of my own experience and really kind of disrespect his own
Maturity.
Yeah. Like, of course, he's a grown-ass man. Of course he can take responsibility for his own experience, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
we have that mama bear in us. And that was one of the ways that I've always nurtured my husband, is that his mom died of breast cancer when he was 13 and she got sick when he was 11. He basically lost his mommy at 11 years old and had to grow up pretty quick and take care of his dad. And I have very much I'm motherly. I like to feed my people, take care of my people. I'm just mom. I attract, half my friends are adopted. People who are adopted have a core mother abandonment wound. And I'm so motherly, I attract them because I'm like a mom. And
when did you realize that? Were you just like, one day, like, holy cow.
I'm like, damn, like in my inner circle, wow, I got a ton of adoptees in here. And I imagined, then I realized, oh, it's that mommy wound. And I love filling that mommy wound. And I did that for my husband. So I am his mother. I am his slut. I am his sister. I am his business partner. I am his life partner. I am his co-parent. I am his best friend. And any other thing I can be with the skills, the talents, and the love that I have, right? I mean, that's what I think is so beautiful about long-term monogamous couples is that. And that leads me to number 10, which is maintain a stable core partnership within evolving structures. What that means is we're consensually non-monogamous. We've been open for 20 of the 34 years of our relationship. We have gone through thick and thin around relationship dynamics, polycules, kitchen table, open, swinging. We've tried all the alls.
Kitchen table? What's
Kitchen
that?
table poly is where the people that you are in a poly relationship with, you're all kind of in the relationship together and you do family-related things, not just sex and relationship things, that you're actually, you integrate families. Like my boyfriend, I've been with him going on 5 years, and he and my husband are best friends, and my daughter loves to surf with them both, right?
Wow.
We have Thanksgiving together, we have Christmas together, we're more of an extended, kind of family orientation where we all love and take care of each other as a family. Well, that suits us best. And we have a new girlfriend who's kind of learning the ropes around that, and she's like, whoa, this is like way more than I would have ever expected in poly, but she loves it. It brings her in to the fold.
Yeah.
People come in and out of our relationship over the years, but we're a stable base. Now, you talk to some consensual non-monogamy people, and they would look down at us for that. They'd be like, oh, so what you're saying is that the monogamy people are the priority. And I'm like, well, in our construct, we're not the priority over other people, but we won't be leaving each other. We're always here. But we're the ones that provide the stable foundation upon which, like, you're sitting at our fucking table eating our fucking food. We're taking you on our trips. If you were wanting us to come over and eat at your table, it wouldn't necessarily be as helpful for us. So we tend to attract people that want to be in our fold, because that's just what works with us, because we've got a business to run, 2 businesses, 4 businesses to run. And, I do a lot of public appearances. I do a lot of travel. A lot of times, my husband doesn't want to go on my appearances with me. My boyfriend goes. He carries my shit. He brings all my sexual biohacking things. He takes my pictures. He does the selfies for me with everybody. He does all those kinds of things. I mean, it really helps to have a couple men around for me. And I loved having a girlfriend, and I love them having another girlfriend. I love having the dynamics of multiple, constructs of our sexual relationship. That's not for everyone, and I'm not prescribing that for you as a viewer or listener. I'm not saying you should do that. What I'm saying is I work my ass off on my personal evolution, and it suits me. And if you want me to teach you hot sex and great bedroom communication skills, I couldn't exactly be with only one person my whole life and be able to speak to you in a way that would actually let you know I've got the chops. Having experiences safely with other people allows me to give you what I give you. So this is not something I'm telling anyone listening or viewing to do. I'm just telling you what my life is like.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's still possible, right? Like to have the just 2 of you as a hot monogamy thing,
We are
right?
hot. We have each other as a hot monogamy.
Yeah. But I mean, other people, if they're not having consensual non-monogamy.
Everything else we've talked about is all for you.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
my number 10.
Yeah.
Is maintain a stable core partnership within evolving structures.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
trust and safety with
Mhm.
novelty and variety.
Yeah, it really is. That's really what we have now. Anyway, I don't know what it'll look like 10 years from now, but that is definitely what we have now. But we've done the work to create that really stable and strong team and foundation. And then whatever we do together. At least that's our thing right now. And so, if other people are involved, we're able to just be together. And and for me, that feels really good. I mean, he's always like, if you want to go make out with her, go, and I'm like, I don't really want to without you.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, it doesn't feel right to me. Now, I don't know, 10 years from now, maybe it does.
Exactly.
But that's been a really interesting thing. I know a couple that she has a long-term boyfriend, they're married, and they really worked so hard on themselves and on their relationship before they got to that point. And I just think that's really interesting how much it takes to really open up to those things if someone is interested in getting there too, or curious about it.
There's so many people who are curious about consensual non-monogamy and all its variations. And I feel like it gives me a lot of knowledge and experience to help others. I'm not a consensual non-monogamy person as far as like, I don't write a lot about it. I don't do programs on it. I don't lead workshops on it. There's a lot of people out there that do those kinds of things. I just happen to be non-monogamous.
I see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's very interesting just to see the long-term strength of your relationship and how it can shift and evolve and change. And it's about, like, I always just say everything's an experiment. Like, nothing is a lifelong commitment except your relationship, right? Or your relationship to yourself. But all these other things that I talk about on the show, including sex, is you can treat it as an experiment. Doesn't have to define you. You don't have to say this is it, and like whether it's cold plunging or, a style of eating or whatever it is, right? We can just try it and see, how it goes. And if you're in that growth mindset, I think that's just a way to approach it that feels like it's not going to, it doesn't have to be the thing that defines you forever.
Yes. You're going to evolve. And
you're going to evolve.
And I would say that if you've listened to Amy and I talk, and I know you'll get a transcript of this from the YouTube channel, which is nice. You could say, "Oh, I know all that stuff. I've got that. I get it." Don't do that. That's your ego protecting yourself from growth. The things that we said, they're fucking fundamental, and you may be doing them, but you may not be doing them as well as you could. You may not be putting point on them. You may not be making a distinction about them in your marriage. Do you know what your relationship values are? Are you nurturing each other? Are you being radically honest? Are you leaving space for variety and novelty? Are you scheduling erotic play dates together? It's pretty easy to say, "Oh, I know that was good. I knew all that." It's like, I don't know. I see a lot of people in my universe, and they might think they're doing it, but there's some really worthwhile. Oh, I never know to give you aim. There's some very worthwhile conversations to be had with your partner about this. One of the things I have are 20 questions for couples based on this work. This is a book I'm working on. That the current placeholder for it is called The Alchemy of Intimacy. And it's based on these principles of this 34-year passionate marriage that's, we've done a lot of work, a lot of transformational growth, a lot of therapy, a lot of things. We're old. We've been successful. What can I pass on? And one of the ways you could check how you're doing on it is to go through these 20 questions. So I'll give you the 20 questions. It's kind of almost like a study guide, kind of a good conversational guide. I'll give that to you to put in the show notes or a link or something. I'll figure it out. I'll stick it on a drive or whatever, because that might be the step for you after listening to this show, is to just check in with your partner on these things and maybe get your relationship values and, be explicit in your agreements and your strategies.
I love that so much. I can't tell you how many decks we own. They're like intimacy deck and all that. And I took some on our honeymoon, and it's just fun. Sometimes you're just sitting around and you start asking questions and you end up having conversations that really open things up, because fundamentally, yes, this is about orgasms and all that. But I think fundamentally so much of it is about communication and how you're communicating, and both the listening and the saying what you really want or what you're really thinking and being honest about it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
and maybe
so much.
Fundamentally about heart connection. Maybe it's about opening our hearts and connecting more deeply. I have definitely, I think about the heart. This is something that Deborah Anapol told me, and I know we need to come to an end, but she was one of my mentors. She wrote the seven laws of love.
I don't know that. I'll have to look it up. Look it up.
She's passed. She passed very unexpectedly and very early, but she was an incredible sex and love educator in the 60s and 70s. And one of the things that she explained to me once was that your heart is a muscle, and it's a door. And it's a muscle because it gets better the more you use it. The more that you love, the more that you feel love. And loving someone actually, for some reason, makes you feel more love than being loved. And a part of that is that our culture walls people loving us off. It is like, oh, you can't love me that much. That's too much. You can love me as much as you want, as often as you want, as deeply as you want, and I will meet you right there. I spend my whole day loving people. My heart muscle works like a champ. It's like my biceps. It's strong. I love deeply, profoundly, humanly. I am loved in return that way, which is so nice. Because so many, especially men, but many women as well, they feel completely ignored. They feel like they're not loved. That sometimes they feel unlovable. And when they come to me and they say that, I say, go love people. Love the cashier at your checkout line. Love the people in a group that you go to. Go do some philanthropy and give some love. Once you start giving the love, the heart gets stronger and you'll start feeling loved, and then you'll be able to fall in love. We're not taught anything about falling in love or loving. So that's, I think, another piece of this is just the whole, yeah, you're going to open that door and you're going to love. And sometimes it's going to slam shut. It's going to hurt like hell.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just talking to Laura Cheadle. She does a show on betrayal. She's lovely. And she fixes betrayal because there's about 20% of people genetically who have serotonin pathways that make it very, very hard for them to forgive betrayal. Because every time they think about the betrayal, they think about it like it's like a fresh wound. It's like it bleeds them out every time because they feel it as happening real to them again. That group of people needs extra support because they need some therapy structures to move through it so they can love again. But 80% of people, they just need to practice loving, practice feeling the love, being able to hold the sensation. Here we are back to learning how to be in sensation. We run away from sensation. Why do you think that our culture doesn't want us having sex? Because we're trying to satisfy something with shopping and getting and needing, getting likes, getting Amazon deliveries. This is need, and it's the need of feeling loved and feeling connected. So sex, yeah, orgasms, touch, oxytocin, neurotransmitters. But what it is heart connection. That's what we crave above all.
Mm-hmm. Truly. Well, we got down to it. And I love your heart.
I love you.
And I think that was probably a beautiful place to wrap up. But is there anything else that you would want to say before we go?
Oh, I don't know. We did it.
We did it.
Find me at betterlover.com. I have a newsletter. This is the stuff I talk about. If you like,
subscribe to the newsletter. I know how much work you put into the newsletter. I get your newsletter and I read it, and I want to encourage people. There's going to be links to everything in the show notes, right? Like how to find you, your socials, your websites, all of it.
God, it got really loud around here.
It's okay. They usually can take that out. It's not a huge deal.
Sorry about that. I just walked away.
It's okay. It's okay. But there's going to be links to everything in the show notes and the things that you mentioned. So I love all your work. You're just so good at what you do and sharing it with others. So I hope people will sign up for your newsletter because it's always like I was saying, it just inspired what to do with my birthday.
Yay!
I know.
I love it.
It's very cool. We'll be thinking of you, Susan, as we have an erotic play date.
Good. Please do invoke the Susan Bratton into the room. She'll get it going for you.
That's right. Total.
Comes in as a lioness.
I love it. I'm all about big cat energy. So here for it. Yes. We got married on the Lionsgate portal. So I'm like, yes. I know. So, yes. So thank you so much. Is there anything that we missed or that you want to leave people with?
Yeah.
Just
last thing I want to say is that you are so beautiful inside and out. Your spirit is so delicious. Every moment with you is pure pleasure. I love our deepening friendship. I am thrilled about your marriage. There isn't a word that comes out of your mouth that isn't like honey to my soul. I'm so happy you exist in the world. I love your mind and how you think about things. And it is an honor to be a part of your universe.
You are good at loving. You're really good. Really good. I can only imagine what sex with you is like. I'm sure it's just this love bomb experience in the best way. So thank you, Susan. I receive it and expand my heart and open up and it's all been a practice for me. And I just am so fortunate, grateful, I just feel so lucky to know you. So thank you so much. And to be able to do this and share your voice and do my part to amplify your message, that helps so many people. And it's so integral to the world because, like you said, at the end of the day, we're about love. And it's this expansive love that can ultimately make the world a better place. Love you so much. And I love all of you for being here today. Thank you so much. Reach out, tell us anything that you felt, get in touch, subscribe to Susan's newsletter and mine. And just thank you so much for being here today. And thank you, Susan. Oh my gosh, I feel like so loved and kind of turned on. Is that too much information right now? I don't know. Like, yeah, it's really something. How does your heart feel right now? Like, check in with your heart. Does it feel kind of warm and good? Or is it just me? No, it's not just me. I like, she really does spread love. So, gosh, thank you for being here today. I love talking with her because she is such a true example of walking the walk of what she talks. And it just shows, right? She's just effervescent is probably a good word to use. She's just an absolute ball of love. So anyway, I am so into it. Again, all those links are in the show notes so you can peruse and see what you want to dive into. But her newsletters are fascinating to me because they're just so in depth and there's so much in them. And anyway, I love her. So thanks for being here. I hope you're doing great. And I love you so much. Subscribe to my newsletter, like I said, if you haven't yet. That's in the show notes as well. And it just keeps you up to date on what's going on the show and a little bit of my life too and that kind of thing. Nothing too major. Arrives in your inbox once a week. And a big shout out to my podcast editors, Podcast Magician. I know, I love the name. So thanks to them. I also want to give a shout to Skyrock Sedona. So if you saw my wedding photos and are thinking of going to Sedona, there are so many beautiful places to stay, but I got to shout out Skyrock because that's where our whole wedding party stayed. And it has majestic views, a great location, and the staff there is just A+++. Like Keeley, everyone there is so just like, I know nice isn't the greatest word probably, but they are just so freaking nice, tuned in, cool, helpful, amazing. I can't say enough good things. And it's a Marriott property too. So it's really nice. And I just loved it. They have a whole amethyst wall that I took a photo in front of behind the front desk. It's entire amethyst wall, and it's so cool. So I love amethysts. I mean, look around, right? I've got a big one right here behind me. So, anyway, I just wanted to tell you, if you're thinking of going to Sedona, check out Skyrock, and I'll put their link in the show notes too. So anyway, thanks for being here so much. I feel like I'm forgetting something because I've been out of town for a little bit and I'm like, what am I forgetting? Am I rusty? So I don't think I am. I love you. Follow me on social media if you haven't yet. Real Amy Edwards. I'd love to connect. And you can always reply to my newsletter too because I get those. So I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Remember that you can keep shining brighter as each day goes by. And wherever you are in your sexual journey too, doesn't even matter. I mean, look at Susan. She didn't even start till she was in her 40s, right? That's so inspiring. So just keep going. Just keep going, right? Just relax. I know. Easier said than done a lot of times. Anyway, I love you so much. Till next time. Thank you so much for being here. Please rate, review, and follow us. And we'd love to hear your feedback. Keep shining bright.